Hello my friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, back with a couple of Christmas cards. This time using some stamps from Studio Light. And this is actually part of a video hop, and there's giveaways and all sorts of fun things. I will have that info in the description box directly below this video. Let's get back to the cards. So I started off with this Christmas Baubles clear stamp set. And I immediately, my mind went to like vintage ornaments. And so I stamped all the ornaments in the set onto the smooth side of distressed watercolor paper. And leading up to like this moment, I was like, I had like 5 different versions in my head. I was like, oh, I'll stamp these in gray. And then I was like, no, I'm going to white heat emboss them. And then no, I'm going to gold heat emboss them. I ended up stamping them in VersaFine Clair Morning Mist ink, just a gray ink that is slow drying. And then I coated them with Ranger's Liquid Platinum Embossing Powder. And there's something about this combo because I overheated these, which I don't ever really do on purpose. But when you overheat embossing powder, that's when you'll get that. The image isn't as shiny, it's not as raised, it'll sink into the paper, and 99% of the time, that's not what you want with embossing powder. But with these, and I don't know if you guys will be able to tell at all, but I could see it in real life, the embossing powder kind of sunk into that gray ink, and it just, I don't know, it created this really pretty kind of vintage look, and I was like, ooh, I really like this. So, regardless though, these images are just pretty. I just really like these ornaments. So I put just the clear backing from the package on top after I heat embossed this so that I don't have to clean my stamps off, because that's a pain, you know. And then that way I could fit in a few more ornaments on this piece of cardstock, hence my head getting in the way because I'm like trying to see where everything's laid out. And then I just repeated the process. I used my anti-static powder tool, inked up the stamps with that Morning Mist VersaFine Clair ink, coated them with the liquid platinum embossing powder, and then melted that with my heat tool. Once those are all done, I am going to watercolor all of these with just a bunch of distress inks. I will link, like with the supplies, I'll link to all the specific colors. But basically, I was wanting to do 2 cards that you guys saw at the beginning and in the thumbnail. With the round ornaments, I was like, I'm going to do these in like pinks, yellows, orangey kind of colors. And then the other ornaments, I'm going to do in purples, blues, greens. So that way I get the whole rainbow, but I'm getting 2 cards out of it. So very simple watercoloring. Literally all I was doing was just getting the area wet with clean water in my paintbrush. I had smushed all my distress inks onto my little clear palette here. And then I was just picking up the color and sticking it on. And that, again, like any colors are going to work. I was just grabbing them at random and kind of having fun with it. So my pink one, I used Kitsch Flamingo and picked raspberry. The yellows, I was using like scattered straw and mustard seed. The orangey one was abandoned coral mixed with dried marigold, which makes a really pretty kind of like, I was just having fun. Off camera, I did end up doing a couple more of the small ornaments because I didn't like this last round one I was doing. I didn't like how it turned out. So I did a couple more small ornaments with the same colors and everything. And then for these other ornaments, I used just a whole bunch of colors. I used the new Villainous Potion Distress ink because, hello, it is beautiful. Just, oh, it's intense. So I used that mixed with a bit of shaded lilac, which fun. And then of course Salvage Patina. I also used like Crushed Olive, Stormy Sky, Mermaid Lagoon. I'm amazed I can actually remember these colors offhand. Like I know all the names of them, but I'm just kind of amazed I can remember the colors I used offhand. Anyway, yeah, so Stormy Sky, Mermaid Lagoon, the Crushed Olive, Salvage Patina, and just mixing, like just playing. Like, oh, and Evergreen Bough. That's what this one was. This was like Evergreen Bough mixed with a bit of Crushed Olive. Like, look at those colors are mixing in a beautiful way. And this whole like process just made me really wish that hopefully someday I can have a little Christmas tree, and I would love to start a collection of those vintage glass, like those mercury glass ornaments. I see pictures of them online, you know, when Christmas starts coming around and people start sharing photos of their collections, and I'm just, oh, love them. Even if I had them, I couldn't put them out because, you know, kids, pets, yeah, but someday. Anyway, I fussy cut out all the ornaments, which didn't take long because they're like simple shapes. And I also die cut some snowflakes, and I die cut a couple pieces of just white cardstock with one of Simon's mini slimline rectangles wafer dies. And then on those pieces, I stamped and heat embossed a sentiment from the Studio Light Christmas hand letter set. There's like a bunch of Christmas sentiments, and I like that there's like the same sentiments, but they have them in different orientations. So just, again, depending on how the card you're making, everything. So that kind of worked out really nice for me. So I stamped and heat embossed the sentiments. And then the snowflakes, I just adhered with craft tacky glue to the background. I did white on white because I didn't want them to be super busy, since I've like the ornaments are the focus, you know, so it gives that little bit of like texture. Plus it brings in snowflakes, because I've said it in all my videos. I love snowflakes. Snowflake stamps, snowflake wafer dies. You can never have enough, in my opinion. I just love them. So after I had all this adhered, and I sped this like up a ton in editing because I didn't even notice that I was basically completely off screen. But anyway, with the round ornaments, I threaded this twine through the tops of the ornaments with just a big needle. I just poked it through, threaded it, and then just adhered the end of the twine to the back of the ornament with some of my Spellbinders tape. With the other ornaments, I didn't actually use the needle. I actually just adhered the thread with glue to the back of the ornaments, because the little like hanger per se was too narrow for the needle to push through. So I just glued it. It was fine. So, or if you didn't want to do like the fuss cutting, you can stamp them, and the stamp set actually has like a couple little ribbon and bow stamps too. That I was originally going to do that, but then this whole idea took over. So I've got my ornaments and the little like twine attached to them, and I'm just adhering the ornaments into place on my card front with some thin 3D foam squares, just kind of fiddling and figuring out, you know, how I want to lay them out. I kind of wanted them staggered along the edge of this panel, and then I would just wrap that twine around to the back of this panel and then tape it into place, and then go on to the next one. So, like I said, I had done a couple more of these small circular ornaments off screen, and I'm glad I did, because they just kind of fill it out more. And I still tried to use that like medium size orangey pink one, because, you know, my OCD is like, you need to use this. But I was like, no, I can save it for a different project or whatever. It was not fitting. You know, I was like, no. Finally gave up, and then this little pink ornament was perfect once I figured out it needed to go right there. So adhered that into place, wrapped around that last little bit of twine, taped it down with that Spellbinders tape, and then I just trim off all that excess with my scissors. And then I repeated the process with those other ornaments on the other card front. So just simple. So that way, again, got all my rainbow colors, but I'm getting 2 cards out of it. So once those were all adhered, my card bases are just cream cardstock that I'm cutting to 6 1/4 by 6.5 inches. I always get asked about this with my guillotine trimmer, why that washi tape is there. It's there for this, for exactly this. The edge of the washi tape marks the 6 1/4 inch measurement, and then I have a Sharpie line down the washi tape that marks the 6.5 inch measurement. Why I used washi tape, I don't know. I could have just drawn on my trimmer, because the washi tape is starting to peel off. Like, I'm gonna have to remove it, remeasure, and then just use a Sharpie to mark it. It'll just make my life easier. But anyway, that's why it's there. So then when I score these, they're 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch mini slimline cards, and I am going to stamp another sentiment from that Studio Light Christmas hand letter stamp set. And as I was doing this, I was like, I'm going to heat emboss this as well, because I was just loving the combo of the gray ink with the liquid platinum embossing powder. But I stopped myself and I was like, actually, no, I just like it like this. Like, just stamped. I think it looks fine. So I didn't add anything else to the insides. I was going to like stamp snowflakes and all that things because I've got this cute little Studio Light snowflake set too, but I'm going to save that for another video. I kept the inside simple because these are like smaller cards, so I wanted more space anyway. So did all that, and then I adhered my panels to the card front with Simon's Big Mama foam tape that is deceptive. The roll itself is Big Mama, it's huge, but the foam tape is very thin, like much thinner than standard foam tape, which I love because it gives just a little bit of dimension. So I adhered that, and technically you could be done, but I'm going to add a ton of bling because it is Christmas season, Christmas cards, glitter, bling, yes. Splatter as well, but I didn't actually add splatter. Instead, I just went all out with the bling. So I picked up this little trick from Nina Marie Trapani's videos. Yeah, she's done this at least once, I know, but I'm pretty sure she's done this many times. And I'll see a photo of her card and I'm always like, oh, I like the bling is just, and this is how she does it. And I love it. So I took Glossy Accents and I only added it to, a portion of the ornaments. I'm not completely coating them. And then I'm going to do something that I'm sure drives a ton of people nuts. I am pinching glitter, dry glitter, and sprinkling it over. I'm using 2 different kinds of glitter. It's Simon Says Stamps unicorn glitter in the chunky version and the really fine version. And the mixture, just wait till the end of the video. Like the bling is just, love it. Love it. If you absolutely hate dry glitter, you can use like stickles, glitter paste, like all those things will work as well. But I find with Glossy Accents and any dry glitter, once it's adhered, it's dry, that glitter ain't going anywhere, like at all. And I'll also show how I remove any excess once the adhesive is dry. So I did that with both card fronts. I don't worry about the little bit of twine that's like going over the ornaments. I just add the adhesive around it. It's good to go. So added that and then pinched and glittered all of these ornaments. I started with the chunkier glitter and not adding a ton of it. That's why I'm like picking it up with my fingers and not just pouring it over, because I wanted there to be space for both types because the way they catch the light and the texture and all that fun stuff. So I do all that, tap off the excess, and then when it comes to cleaning up dry glitter, because we all know glitter it really is the herpes of the craft world. I laugh when people haven't heard that phrase before because it's just something I've said for like over a decade now. I don't know who was the first person to come up with that, but it is. It just, glitter gets everywhere. Anyway, brushed it up with my big fan brush. And right now everything is still, like the adhesive is still, like the Glossy Accents is still wet. So I'm just carefully kind of working around it. And I'm adding a bunch of bling because, again, Christmas cards. And it just works, You can get away with a lot more with Christmas cards, in my opinion, because it's just like everything should be sparkly. So I'm adding a bunch of crystal gems to these cards, just kind of positioning them all around these ornaments, and adhering them into place with dabs of craft tacky glue. So just digging through and finding sizes and just really enjoying myself. So once I was kind of happy with the placement, I just pick them up with my little embellishment wand, put down a dab of glue, and then press them into place, and then they'll be good to go. So I did all of that, and then off camera, I let them sit and let that Glossy Accents fully dry, which didn't take very long. Honestly, I think Glossy Accents dries a lot faster than something like Stickles, etc. But anyway, let it dry, and then anytime I use glitter, once everything's dry, I use my big old fan brush again, and I just brush it over the card. That will remove any little bits that aren't adhered or that are clinging to other things, and then it's good to go. You don't have glitter falling everywhere. You can send this to a friend or family member, and they're not going to be angry when they open the card. Because, again, loose glitter. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's beautiful. So this is what I'm talking about with the bling. And you get a little bit of like dimension from the Glossy Accents as well. And these ornaments and sentiments and just, I really love these ornaments. They're so pretty. So like I said in the beginning of the video, this is part of a video hop. There's giveaways. There's tons of inspiration, all that fun stuff. So I will have the links and the info directly below the video for you guys to check out if you're interested, as well as links to the supplies I used, all that fun stuff. So check that out below. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, thumbs upping, commenting. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.